Hey guys! I hope you are doing fantastic. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to talk about female beauty standards. So, while I was doing some research for this video, I stumbled upon a lot of interesting articles and I thought it would be great to share them with you. So grab a cup of chai, sit back, and let's get started. We are flooded with beauty ideals through social media and TV shows, etc. So it is very easy to forget that beauty standards are cultural and they change over time, and they can be very harmful for our health sometimes. Beauty ideals are often a reflection of the role that men and women are expected to fulfill in their society. Although beauty standards may vary from one culture to another and over time, several studies have shown that features that reveal health, like a healthy skin, healthy hair and teeth, and good body proportions, are considered beautiful and lead to sexual selection, which is the evolution of attributes that provide a reproductive advantage. In the 1960s and the 1970s, beauty standards for female changed drastically in the West. They shifted from the voluptuous hourglass body type of celebrities like Marilyn Monroe to the stick thin figure of supermodels like Kate Moss, for example. And just as women started to gain more freedom and power and more access to education, employment, and politics, the ideal female body started to become very skinny, and so women were increasingly encouraged to discipline their bodies through sometimes dangerous diets. And in the 90s, there were the thin body type, the athletic body type, the chesty but slender body type, and the slimmer fit version of the classic hourglass body type. And at the time, it was still considered to be a sign of being overweight to have a large bottom or thick thighs in the Western society. I don't know if you remember the thigh gap trend in the early 2010s. This trend has raised concerns amongst the experts in eating disorders.
This show of hands,
Lève la main.
a country that is a heavy hitter in the fashion industry is going after underweight fashion models.
Contre.
France's new law would keep modeling agencies and fashion houses from using extremely skinny models. Anyone employing a model with a body mass index of less than 18 could face fines equivalent to about $100,000 Canadian or even jail time, up to 6 months behind bars.
C'est un message important.
The French health minister calls the legislation a message about nutrition to models, but also to young girls and women in general. The idea is to keep ultra-thin models from being held up as a beauty ideal, something to strive for. Other countries have made similar moves: Spain, Italy, Israel. In the words of one photographer, the difference between skinny and too skinny can be life or death.
Let's talk about Mauritania, where in some rural areas, people still practice la blue. I hope I pronounced it correctly. So basically, women are force fed from an early age to their majority so they can become big and have more chances to attract men. The beauty standards for these women emphasizes obesity as a sign of wealth, status, and desirability, even though Le Bleu has serious consequences for women's health.
الصغيرة اللي هي المرأة الكبيرة اللي أصلها قد أمها ذيك هي ذيك جدات ذيك أمها جداتها المرأة اللي فهمت إني أنا مبلحة الطفلة ليه قلت علني ما عندها الحاجة كبير دارت تتوسع ما يقل ولا يربي ما تتوسع شوي أنا عجبتني حط لك عصر العادة تبرح بعد 4 سنين دارها ما تبرق يجيها دارت عد وسع قلت ما هي كبير كانوا مازالوا يفضلوها كان ما يبغون المرأة اللي وسع وأجيال تولي تعرف يبغون المرأة اللي وسع ذيك رقيقة حتى تعود رقيقة حتى واحدة رقيقة حتى يقولونها فيها ما ومن تعود مثلا وسع لأن تعرف الحالة أصلا قالوا إنه يقبل من الأخلاق قال على إنه اللي إنما بحالة تقبل من الأخلاق اللي ما قبل تصير رقيق وزاد ذاك تعرف تقليد اللي ماشيين عليها رجال تمويته.
The body positive movement was initially created so everyone could have a positive body image, regardless of how society and popular culture view ideal shape, size, and appearance. This movement aims to help people build self-confidence and also develop a healthier and more realistic relationship with their bodies. And so besides the body positive movement, there is the fat acceptance movement, which fights for the recognition that bodies of all shapes and sizes, particularly larger ones, are worthy and advocates to improve the quality of life for fat people and also fights discrimination against them in industries such as healthcare, fashion, and also employment. But as we over politicize these great ideas and transform them as movements, some people take these ideas to the extreme and it becomes a way for them to be fatalistic and comfort themselves through celebrities like as Holiday or activists like Virgie Tovar, and then put pressure on people who disagree with their ideas and their choices.
A cake-related fatphobic incident, or CRFI, is that moment when it's time to eat delicious cake and it's interrupted by a moralizing impulse. Inevitably, there's always someone at the party who has to declare publicly that their slice is too large, and that the person who's cutting the cake, almost invariably a woman, must do some disproportionate amount of labor in order to accommodate their need to feel superior.
Let's take a look at Adele's weight loss. Some people think that praising her weight loss is somehow fatphobic. In 2019, Adele posted a picture of herself in Instagram and she seemed to have lost a lot of weight. She lost weight throughout the years, slowly but surely, and even though we don't know for sure why she decided to lose weight to begin with, a lot of people who identify with the fat acceptance movement thought that they were entitled to criticize every single person who was praising her weight loss. The same happened to Lizzo last year when she decided to follow a detox diet that involved drinking smoothies. Now, I don't know if her detox diet is that healthy, to be honest, but I'm not a professional, so I will not comment on this. But the fact that she had to explain herself is kind of annoying.
While Adele herself has stayed quiet, some of her former personal trainers have weighed in with their thoughts. Peter Gerasimo shared this pic of one of their sessions along with a post claiming that Adele was never focused on getting super skinny, and instead she simply wanted to improve her health. Adele struggled with postpartum depression after the birth of her son, and according to Peter, she worked hard to get both her mental and physical health back on track. He says she embraced better eating habits and was committed to her fitness, but best of all, he wholeheartedly believes she did this for herself and not because of any outside influences. He hopes Adele's hard work and positive attitude will inspire others to do their best instead of trying to tear people down online.
So I did the 10-day smoothie detox, and as you know, I would normally be so afraid and ashamed to post things like this online because I feel like as a big girl, people just expect if you are doing something for health, you're doing it for like a dramatic weight loss, and that is not the case.
I think that we idealize and idolize celebrities too much, and some of us think that celebrities should be relatable or they should be our voice. We act as if they always have to agree with the masses, and if not, we should cancel them. But things such as performative activism do exist. Yes, they are public figures and you may support them, and that's cool, but it doesn't give you the right to throw a tantrum and try to jeopardize their entire career because they didn't make the choices that you expect them to make when it doesn't harm you or anybody else. It is great to have representation in the media. I think that it is very important, but I think that we have to realize that our self-esteem and self-love should not depend on one's life choices.
To get to Atlanta, 95% of the passengers just got a BBL. How to fly home after BBL.
It's over for you bitches.
On knees whenever possible.
Done? It's over.
Had to sit most of flight, felt good at first, but start.
This video is not about sending hate towards anybody who got a BBL. It's more about my annoyance with how social media is promoting people getting surgery, especially one with a high mortality rate.
Hi guys. The viewers and tell them what is this potential risk, what is the procedure, how often it happens, and what your recommendations would be on something like that.
So BBL stands for Brazilian butt lift, and essentially it is taking fat from a different part of your body and injecting it into the butt. And up until a few years ago, we thought that this was the safest way to enhance the buttocks. And as we know, our society and our culture, it's really focused on the derriere. Unfortunately, studies have now shown that it has the highest mortality rate, death rate, in all of plastic surgery. There was a study that showed that literally 1 in 3,000 women who undergo this surgery die from it.
And these are healthy pre-screened women. So these aren't
healthy,
like
these are young women,
folks.
and often they're young women of color who want to undergo this operation. So I don't think that it's not a safe operation. I think there are unsafe ways to perform it. And in general, there are plastic surgeons around the country who do that's almost all they do is Brazilian butt lifts. And they do it very safely because they know where you can inject the fat, which is in the subcutaneous layer, which is above the muscle, and where you don't inject the fat, which is below the muscle. But where I caution patients is to be very careful if the person who's doing it on you is not a true expert in it. You don't want somebody dabbling in your butt. You want only a true expert to do it, because when somebody's dabbling and they don't know those planes very well, that's when people die. And I describe it as kind of like the Death Star, where like you get these two missiles that go right to the right part of the Death Star, and the Death Star whole thing blows up. That's what a fat embolism can be, is you get fat that is injected into a blood vessel and it goes right to your heart and your lungs, and you die like that.
Talking about idolizing celebrities, let's talk about the infamous BBL epidemic. In my opinion, people who popularized these surgery were inspired by video vixens. And I am talking about celebrities like Kim Kardashian and Nicki Minaj, who allegedly had work done. Buttock augmentation dates back to the 1960s and was created by a Brazilian surgeon named Ivo P. Tanguy. I hope I pronounced it correctly. Also, until recently, being skinny was trendy and big butts were not. It has become an epidemic slash trend for at least 5 to 6 years now. So I started to ask myself how body modification could become a trend. I mean, we are talking about something that could mess with your health. We know now that BBL is one of the deadliest plastic procedure. And a trend is by definition a development or a change in a situation or in the way people behave. It means that people are ready to risk all they have, their life, to be a part of a trend. But at the end of the day, everyone has the right to enjoy their body on their terms as long as they are healthy and happy. And whatever life choices people make, they have to make sure that they're not risking their lives to fit these new ideals of beauty. Anyways, that's all I had to say about female beauty standards. So tell me what you think about the body positive movement and the BBL epidemic in the comment section below. I would love to know your opinion. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!